Well, a lot of very busy people today and a lot of, I guess, trepidation about what's going to happen today and tonight in relation to the visit of the President of Israel, Isaac Herzog. But I've got the Shadow Attorney General, Andrew Wallace, on the line. Well, it's Senate estimates today too, so there's a fair bit going on, and he's joining me now. Morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Tim. Good morning to your listeners.
Yeah, Senate estimates, God, that's a bit dry, isn't it?
Well, look, it's a really important process.
I know.
For us to really drill down into specific issues. It is a little dry at times, and it's very, very long hours for the senators, but it's a very important part of our democratic process.
Yeah, it is. Look, I watched the Treasurer on Insiders yesterday morning, and I tell you, he's just a world champion spinner, that Jim Chalmers. But what do you think he means by taking the speed limit off the economy? What's he mean by that?
Well, who knows? But at the end of the day, he's got his foot on the accelerator, and the RBA's got its foot on the brakes.
That's right.
And what we're seeing as a result is inflation is increasing because this government is addicted to spending. That's the reality of it.
You know, I said to my listeners that it's all very well for him to say that government spending decreased in the last quarter, and it was mainly us spending up big for Christmas that caused the inflation and the rise in the interest rate. But, you know, government, this is dry too, but government spending as a percentage of GDP in this country, in world terms, Andrew, is very high.
It is. We're around 27 or 28%
That's it, yeah.
now, the highest rate outside of a recession. So, you know, we are seeing that Jim Chalmers can spin however much he likes, but the reality is the Reserve Bank Governor has made it very, very clear that one of the reasons why interest rates are increasing is because of increased public spending.
Are you concerned about what he'll do in the budget in May? He keeps talking about intergenerational changes to housing. He's mentioned tax, whether that means capital gains tax or not. But as we all remember, I mean, all of the moves that Bill Shorten made about capital gains tax is probably part of the reason he didn't win the election.
And look how well that worked for them.
Yeah.
Look, the reality is, Tim, that there are millions of mum and dad investors that you know, they might have one investment property that has really that has changed the landscape for governments. You know, we talk about people, we talk about years and years and years, decades of governments not spending on housing. The reality is that mums and dads have stepped up, you know, whether you're a nurse or a policeman, you know, just simple mums and dads might have one investment property. Now, when the government goes and changes the rules and increases the tax on property investors, what signal does that send? I tell you what, I mean, it is hard enough now in Australia to be a property investor, to be a landlord with all of the rules and regulations that you've got to comply with. There have been mum and dad investors that have been pulling out of the investment market at a great rate of knots. And how is that going to help people get into homes in the middle of a housing crisis? The answer, of course, is it's not.
No, and he's going to have to be at his best with marketing spin to sell that one, Treasurer Jim. Now, look, I just want to talk to you about, and I just spoke to the Assistant Commissioner of Police in New South Wales, Peter McKenna, about what they've got planned today. 3,000 extra police, 500 just for the visit of Isaac Herzog tonight. And you've called this pushback, if you like, on the visit very concerning, deeply concerning.
Well, Tim, unfortunately, there are elements of society, and including some of our own state and federal MPs that are vocalising their opposition to President Herzog's visit. You know, we have witnessed on the 15th or the 14th of December the worst Australian terrorist event ever, resulting in the loss of 15 lives. It is entirely appropriate for the President of that country, Israel, to come and visit Australia, to be with the Jewish Australian community, but not just Jewish Australians. It wasn't just an attack on Jewish Australians, it was an attack on 27 million of us. It is entirely appropriate for the President of Israel to come here and to share in our collective grief. And I absolutely condemn those people, those professional protesters who want to cause as much havoc as they possibly can. And I want to send a reminder to the Teals who have been out there the last couple of days saying that this shouldn't happen. Well, I mean, this is a moment where we should be talking about social cohesion and bringing Australians together rather than trying to divide us even further.
You know, I'm just, and I say it to my listeners quite often, we just seem to be in this period of extreme hate. I mean, you can take it, the hate expressed, in the most violent way at Bondi on December 14 last year, and pervading hate throughout society. I mean, what's the what are the Teals' problem with it? What's their beef? I mean, the Prime Minister, the President of Israel, was invited here by the Prime Minister via the Governor General. So I'm not understanding what the problem is. I know what it is. I mean, the left side of politics just can't stand it. So that's basically it, isn't it?
I think that's right. You know, the Labor Party included, but the progressive side of politics, the left side of politics, has a hatred of all things Israel. Yeah. And, it didn't take much in Australia to see that antisemitism just go off the charts since the 7th of October 2023. We all remember what happened on the steps of the Opera House just 2 days later.
We sure do.
This was long before the IDF entered into Gaza. The tide of community sentiment, if you remember back that first day, everybody was saying how terrible this was. Well, it took around 24 hours for the international community to turn on Israel. Israel is the only democratic nation in the Middle East. They are our ally, and we should be doing everything we can to support them.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us on What's a Big Day. And you've kissed and made up with the Nationals, so that's nice.
Well, look, Tim, every relationship, I've been married for 30, I've got to get this right, 35
You better,
years.
you better.
And every relationship has its challenges. And sometimes the longer you stay in a relationship, the more challenging it can be, except my wife.
Of course.
But we all have those times when things don't go quite as well as we'd hoped. But we've kissed and made up, and now it's all about trying to ensure that we get the best outcomes for the Australian people, and we hold this hopeless government to account.
Yeah, and I have to watch. I said to myself, I watched Question Time last week, and all I got was Jim Chalmers and Chris Bowen being zealots. But I'm going to have to watch today to see what happens, because it could be fun, eh?
Question Time's always fun.
Good on you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Andrew Wallace, the Opposition Attorney General.
Authorised by Andrew Wallace, LNP, Boccarina, Queensland.